What's up, YouTube? We're doing another review of a game, but this time around, we're actually going to be reviewing one of my threes teammates, Baby Dibs. We're going to be reviewing one of his solo games. So this is I believe that this is just a 3v3 game that he was playing in the comp queue, and he's around same sort of rank as me, kind of like D3. Um, but he's fallen into sort of a rut. So we're gonna watch, see what we're noticing he's doing wrong or doing right or can improve on, and then just talk about that. So without any more info, here we go. And also to start, he did say that this is a game they lost fully on his own doing. So we'll keep that in mind. Missing that boost is sad. I think I don't really know. I mean, this is like a really beautiful pop-up. I don't know if he meant to do that or what, but it was a really good job regardless, because it actually sets up his teammate really well. His teammate unfortunately misses it. He gets that 100 boost. So these sort of pops I don't love. Thank you, Kat, for moving the microphone. I don't really love these sort of pops, just because if this enemy wasn't bad and didn't miss this ball, then that gives them a lot of progression and possession. So a lot of backwards driving here. Okay, 2 backflips, so he's super far back, which is good. Both his teams are playing up, so don't feel too bad about that. I don't know if sitting perfectly still is exactly the best move. I mean, he wasn't like sitting still for that long, but I think here, so the ball's like in their corner. I think playing a little further closer towards that midfield line is a little bit better. You know, you can jump for that ball like across the field and put it into the opposite corner. You can also just head back to goal pretty easily from midfield. So sitting all the way into that back corner probably wasn't the best. This is sort of just his teammate double committing for no reason. I think this completely should be his ball. The teammate kind of double commits. Good job. I think going back into goal here is good. Teammate's doing just sort of a bad job clearing the ball. Where's this guy? He does a 180 right there. Yeah, should not be that guy's ball. But ends up being okay. Grabbing this boost is really good, especially if your teammates are going to kind of keep sitting in this corner, smacking the ball around. Good job recognizing that he's probably just going to jump for it. I think while this guy's U-turning here is the time that you should have gone. And then position inside that corner. Well, I guess he did a good job still being there, so I take that back. Great clear into almost goal. That would have been really funny. This is going to be above the goal. Another shot. Yeah, so I think let me show like the actual point where I wanted to show this. All right, so here so I play third man a lot on our team, and oh, okay. So I play third man a lot on our team, and the one thing that I'm starting to realize on our team and at that level we're kind of at is that you don't have to play like so far back in the goal. You should be able to like play a little bit further up and then either trust your ability to get back into the goal, trust your ability for your teammates to rotate for you, or trust your ability to cut it off and get like a cut off like at the midfield. So like here, there's, you know, this 100 boost didn't spawn, so there's no real reason for you to be going all the way back into the goal. Where Wheel Whiz is okay place for you to be, or even a little further up. I mean, it's all the way in their corner, so you can play a little farther back. Just being back here kind of means that like this touch right here that this soup can Sam got, you could have been there to either have this touch that Alpaca got, or you could have been there like for the next one. And jumping for this can just be solved by just flicking the camera to see where the goal is, because you can kind of see here, but obviously like if you're afraid that like your judgment's off, like you're gonna jump for it the way you did, but it does just lead into this sort of sad situation of you fumbling around trying to recover into saving that goal. But I think that that's not like the absolute worst thing ever. I think playing a little bit more towards midfield would have been better there. Your teammates do seem to be, oh, what a so this doesn't actually go in or get saved by you. Wait, do you save this or does it hit the wall? It doesn't actually matter. But regardless, this is a good job being there, regardless, and your teammate cleared it out for you. Here we go. Good pass to Alpaca. I think that was really good. Being able to see him right there, giving it right back to him. He just puts it up against the wall. I would space a little more towards midfield here, because he's obviously going for it again. And if he loses this ball, then it's the person behind you's job to stop it, or to, you know, whatever the third man chooses to do with it. And your job here should be to forward, like to create more forward progression. So you should be playing a little bit more in towards the goal here. I mean, like, it ended up being that you were able to, but I just think like you should be positioning more towards the middle, because that's more where you're hoping the passes are coming from. You go up for it. Alpaca helps you. Great. This feels like the most accidental but on purpose demo of all time. So that was a really funny goal. Yeah. Just good contact by you and your teammate to have it dribble in, and then you just getting the demo. So let's see what you do off this kickoff. Okay. I don't know. Okay, you did flip, but you just kind of spend a lot of time in the air. I think you have a little bit of boost here, don't you? You have 12. Yeah, you should just boost down. Get yourself out of there a little quicker. You kind of do at the end there. But maybe do it a little sooner to land on one of those other pads. Taking both these 100 packs is a little spooky in case one of your teammates was rotating the other way, but ends up being fine. Yeah, this is one of me and Baby Dip's classic bad habits, is jumping for this kind of ball. Sort of like, this is a good ball to be jumping for, but he jumped a little bit early, and then was not like flat enough to like be sort of any kind of wall. So it's kind of the only surface area he can hit this ball with is the nose of his car, whereas like the bottom of your car is the best place because it's so flat. On offense, you should be using like the nose of your car. I mean, using different parts of your car for different situations, but I think on defense, especially like for a shot, like you're wanting to use the underside of your car to be covering as much area as possible and killing the ball. So I think if you just tilt it up there a little bit more, you definitely stop that ball. Yeah, I think here you have the read on this ball. You just jump a little bit too soon. So then you had to use your roll to make any contact, and it was like a pretty weak contact. So I think instead just kind of wait on this jump, and I think you can actually, honestly, I think if you just waited, you could have driven straight into it, right where it met the ground, and boosted into it and had it be a pretty big boom. Taking that boost was really great. I think, so in these kind of corners, just jump for it. Alpaca is okay. As the game continues to progress, I'm not feeling as confident. But I mean, you could jump for it. Both of them are at least facing the goal, so they can get there a lot easier than you can. So you might as well contest that ball. Missing it on this sort of bounce is the most tilting thing on earth, because it literally bounced right in front of you. The way that I've been like dealing with this is turning off ball cam. I feel like it just gives me like a better idea of that little circle on the ground showing where the ball's going to land. But that's sort of just an unfortunate thing that happens to all of us, so can't be too mad at that. Yeah, let them go. Wow, what a pass. Obviously this is like a super, like, your team is not proven to be like the most effective teammates, but I think when you see this kind of pass, I think playing up on this, like way further up on this, would be totally acceptable, because that was two great offensive passes. You can see one person is still getting back on defense, and really there's only one person currently on defense. So this would have been a fine time to keep pushing up. All right. So as I was saying, this is a good time to have been playing up a little bit. Maybe not like all the way onto sort of like a shooting position, like being like goal on their goal line, but being like on midfield, like a little bit past midfield, maybe would have been good. Because I think good bump. So this ball here, I mean, these are things that are like hard to think of in the moment. But this ball here, putting it mid gives it to their team. So like while it's great to like start the progression of it going towards their half, both of your teammates are driving back towards the goal. So unless you can get a second touch or unless you can really boom it into the other half, which like making a U-turn and boosting into the ball, like you could, but like with how short of distance this is, you're not going to get that much power on it. So what I would recommend is making this U-turn a little bit wider and putting it right, like against the wall. I mean, as you can see, you don't get too much power on it, and with that kind of bounce or that kind of trajectory, that puts it like just kind of right in the groove of that wall on the right side. And I think you also have a better chance of following that up, because you beat Soup Can Sam. Oh no, he gets a follow up, but Soup Can Sam would be the next person to attack this ball if you put it to the right. Versus right here, you have two people in line right behind him, like already on trajectory at the ball. So here you missed the boost, which is sad. I think you loop back around trying to get that boost and then it was taken. Then you only get a penny. I think sometimes when you miss the boost and you are like supposed to be the next person on defense, you gotta just leave it. Also right here is a great time to like flick your camera around to see if your teammate, your third teammate is in the goal or super far behind, because then you have more info as to whether or not you need to be the next person on this ball. Because as this play continues, you do this U-turn and you think it needs to be you, but luckily your teammate's right here. And although he doesn't get a great hit, that time that you spent making that U-turn, you could have spent already having gotten this back boost or going for it. So camera flicking is one thing that I think really aids when you're playing against or playing with like random people, because when you're on comms, you know that the person's there, and the only way you can know that in a randoms is by flicking your camera a bunch. I think you should just jump for this ball. Obviously you get boomed there like as you're going towards it, but I think just jump for it. Harder to get boomed when you're in the air, and it was floating and none of them had jumped for it, so opportunity to. This is something that's really hard to tell, but this guy's boosting towards the ball as well. So best case scenario, you guys 50 here. Worst case scenario, he pops it over you, and as being the third man here, you kind of want to not take as many worst case scenarios. So maybe playing a little more conservatively here would have been a little better. Ends up being okay. I assume this, yeah, it just goes over the goal like that, and then you get the clear. Oh, we use 0 boost here. Yeah, boosting into the ball, missed that penny pad, got the 50. Yeah. Unfortunate touch. Good job going back. There's no reason to be waiting in this corner. You know both your teammates are in the goal. You like just saw them, right? You see one here on the front post, one on the back post. While you could be on this wall and like the ball land on top of your car or you drive into it on the wall, you still have two teammates in the goal, so there's no reason to. And again, you could be using this time to go get the back boost again. I think your teammates have proven that like they're not very great, but that they can at least like hit the ball when it's their turn. Maybe not like make the best contact, but they can at least hit the ball when it's their turn. So you gotta just, when you're 0 boost and you're like on the wall like that, if there's 2 behind you or even just 1 behind you, you gotta just trust them. Otherwise you're gonna be playing a one, like in your brain, you're gonna be playing a 1v3, which is not true. They've hit the ball. Might not have always been the best contact, but like, you know, they're hitting it, and they're also making bad choices, but But yeah, you gotta trust him at least a little bit. Driving forward on this ball is fine. What I think is really interesting. So you see right here that he's the only one there. He clears it. Your teammate's the next person to get this touch. Sure, he hits it into their half or into like where they are, the right side of the field. But you knew that that one dude was the only guy back because you could see that, and your teammate just got the hit. So I don't fully agree with this U-turn here. I think you could play it up a little bit, or at least hang around midfield, like get that mid boost and then stay there. Yeah, and then taking both these boost pads, it is sort of fine, but also something to keep in mind is trying to maybe leave a boost pad for a teammate that's coming back. This is, I think this is a bit of a panic. Jumping there, yeah. It's always hard to tell like when the balls are gonna die in these sort of corners and not bounce. But I think when you're the last man back, kind of staying planted for as long as possible is always the better call. But I I make this mistake 100 times out of 100 as well, so nothing too atrocious. Incredible kickoff goal somewhere happening soon. Oh, good touch on the wall. Good touch. Nice. Great goal. This is what happens when you play a little aggressive and your teammates give you a little bit of space. This is good. Good job. Yeah. Really good way to tie it up really quickly. So, 30 seconds left. Let's see how this goes into overtime here. Okay. Again, so they both go for the ball, which is not a very good kickoff, but it's fine. But when you see your teammate go back there like that, start playing middle. Oh, and he didn't end up going back. Yeah, I mean, like, presumably here, I'm thinking he's going back, so I'd probably play a little bit more to the middle. You can also play the left side and, like, try and stop the clear, but I think you got a little too close to try and stop the clear. Like, although the ball is, like, closer to the corner, if you're trying to stop a clear, I don't think you should ever go further than, like, right here. Like, if that's your whole plan of being in this half, this guy could pass it middle, but the chances of him passing it middle through this guy who's right on him and through the guy who's playing front post, aka Soup Can Sam, are pretty low, which means that I would assume you're positioning to stop the clear, so you shouldn't go past this point, because any attempt by them to clear is gonna go past this point. So playing up here is just kind of a way to get the ball around you, and that's what happens. Not through like the clear like I was thinking of, but it does end up happening. I don't know if jumping here is a great call. You guys are triple committing on this, and it no goal ends up happening, but this is a spooky situation to put yourselves in, having all three up. Obviously Alpaca comes off this wall a bit out of your sight, but I think you see enough of sniper shot here jumping to know that he is up. So wow, and Wills could have really punished you guys for that. I think you're going for the boom here, but I think you should not. Alpaca's only real move here, unless he's a god, is bouncing this off the wall and passing it mid to you. Now, if you're like flicking the camera to see that nobody's behind you, then it's understandable to go for the boom. But if you think that you're solo, then going for the boom only empties the goal for nobody to shoot it on. So if Alpaca was successful here in getting the pass off, and you were successful in getting this boom, then like, okay, sniper is there. Every single time I think these people aren't going to be there. They are there. So I guess going for the boom's fine. It sort of just ended up being a failed play because both he missed the wall pass and you missed the boom. But yeah, that's just something to think about. Also, I guess there was 7 seconds on the clock, so it didn't really. I guess you can kind of do whatever play here. But yeah. All right, now we're in overtime. These are just all these are just things that you could have done. They're not always going to be like the proper or correct thing to choose. They're just other things to be thinking about, and different ways to be like looking at the game. Okay. So this is a panic. This is a panic decision 100%. They both just missed it. But you have no boost, no momentum. The only thing you can do here is backflip into this ball, and maybe do a little half flip into the ball, so that way you can drive forward with it. But something to think about is if there were somebody right behind you for this ball, you've just lost the game. And thankfully there wasn't anybody directly behind you. Someone was coming from a pretty bad angle the other way. But this is a really spooky thing to have done. Going for this side boost is fine, but you can kind of hear the audio cues for there being someone else there. So maybe next time just keep heading forward. You end up getting this boost. Turning for this ball makes sense because it feels like it's in front of you, but it's bouncing off the wall while you're driving into the wall, which means that you're going to have to do a full 180 like that to get to the ball, which can just be a little dangerous sometimes. So maybe next time. So I think if you just drove into the back of the net, you could have done the same job clearing it, but also been a little safer of somebody passing it or shooting it from that corner. Yeah, just something to think about. It's always difficult when like something doesn't go wrong, but something could have gone wrong to like learn from it. So I'm just trying to point it out now. Here, oh, this is so spooky. Okay, here, and I'm pretty sure you know this, but you got 27 boost. You go for the ball like right here, and this person is also going for the ball, but what you're going to be forcing is a 50 on this wall. So either he either has to hit it early, or he has to waste all his resources to get it out. But yeah, this is just so scary. Both of his teammates are just waiting in that back corner. Again, nothing goes wrong, but I think right here, like the moment that this ball gets hit into this corner, you gotta go. You gotta go up that wall, because he misses it and he pins it against the wall, and his teammates are just sitting in the corner and not shooting it. But like, could have been way better by them and way scarier for you. Okay, sniper misses. You kind of miss as well. I think you try to spin into the ball while hitting it, and really great thought, but sometimes will make you miss. So maybe in that sort of situation, just hit the ball. Don't try and pizzazz it up. This backflip is because the ball's right there, but like, again, like these people aren't there, so it's really hard to like feel like this was a bad decision. But if you, instead of backflipping, just drive forward, you're ready for the potential of somebody being there. Again, if you're like flicking your camera to see behind you, and you know nobody's there, then doing this backflip is a lot less risk. But since you're not doing that, then you're just hoping that nobody's there. And if you're hoping that nobody's there, then why not instead just go into the goal and have either a free or clear, or like a better bird's eye view of the field. Okay, so missing this corner boost is fine, but leaving the back post entirely is a little questionable, just because. So there's no boost there, so you kind of make a wider turn. Yeah, I think the moment you saw that there was no boost is when you should have like immediately started U-turning. But yeah, I just play a lot more defensive when being the third person. So sorry for the yawn. Hope everybody write a comment in the comments if you yawned for me yawning. I see what you're going for this jump, but not super necessary. So a lot of times when there's forward progression like this and you're kind of being caught on the back foot, there's a panic option of like slowing down and being able to make like I think sometimes we think that we can either make a fast a fast and risky and hard play, or a slow and precise good play or easy play, is more what I'm saying. And like being slower means that I'll be able to control the ball better, and it means that like I'll be able to make a better decision. That could be true, but when your opponent is clearing the ball and they're coming down as fast as possible, your slow play is always going to be like need to be reactive, and you're going to need to be able to do a fast aerial on command or something like super fast and in the moment, if you've just killed all your momentum to be like under the ball. So here, just keep driving forward. There's no need, because the way the ball's coming, it's headed towards your corner. So you can just get in the goal and face that corner and either block that shot, stop the pass, what have you. But when you're doing this, you're kind of saying that like you'll be able to meet this ball by slowing down and jumping here. You're being like, oh, I can meet where this ball is. But that requires you to be really precise. Whereas if you're in the goal, you can kind of just watch this guy do this little air dribble and come out like when you need to or when you want to. But here you're going back and forth too much. This little half jump was I guess the panic option. I also think that once you do this half jump, driving forward while this guy's in the air is also a bit spooky, because now you're driving forward while he's hitting it across from you, so you're gonna have to be turning to the right. And if he gets a big enough boom, your turning to the right is already gonna be too late, and it'll be like beyond you, and you have to hope that someone's behind you to save this. So I think instead of driving forward, you just keep going back. While that touch was, kind of killed the play, it also like forced your teammate to come out and hit it. Yeah, I know this is a punching the air moment. I think you know this watching it now, but you drove too fast forward before jumping, so it just put you a little bit too far in front of the ball. Steal this corner boost. Their corner boost right here. Take this one, because it's gonna be slowing them down in one way or another. Great clear. I like waiting here. Maybe I think waiting more towards the wall is always better. He just is like positioned that he's gonna hit against the wall, so waiting open field like that just kind of puts you in a position to not have been able to capitalize on that. Yep. This is fine with Alpaca there. I mean, you can hear him jump, but obviously like it's really difficult in the moment to be able to make out what's your jump noise and what someone else's. I really like that wall touch. That's kind of the wall touch that I think I just need to start going for. Okay. Flipping into this ball is like the cheater's way of getting faster, but it also put you past the ball. So instead, and obviously like I'm like super nitpicking, but I think this is what you're looking for. Instead of flipping here, get that penny pad right there, and then just drive into the ball. Flipping, it just put you right past the ball, and that was unfortunate. So yeah. So whoops. I know the corner boost are the easiest way to get a lot of boost, but you just picked up that penny. There's 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 that you had just passed in that little triangle pattern, that you could have picked up, and either been back in this play or not. I mean, getting the 100 actually was fine, I would say. Yeah. So a lot of times, when I'm seeing like this ball here, this ball's past you, but it seems that like you will still drive forward into this ball. And I think if you want to drive forward into this ball, you have to be jumping. And maybe this is just like our classic hand versus brain kind of conversation, where like you think that the ball's landing before you, but I think it happened enough times in this game where you drive forward into the ball and end up being behind you that you should have started playing a little bit more defensively for these sort of things. So like, oh, whoopsie daisy. So you driving forward here made it so that you had to start reversing. Like, yeah. I mean, you start reversing here, which I think is, I mean, there's like two ways of turning around, obviously, right? You can U-turn, or you can drive forward and reverse, or and turn right, or you can reverse and turn left. I would think that turning right and driving forward would be better, because you have more obvious and easy control of your car when you're driving forward, and yeah, that's really the real thing. Driving in reverse is just like the game on hard mode, for no reason, when you could just drive forward and have it be a little more simple. So like if you drive forward and right here, then you can maybe meet the ball in front of that penny pad, instead of having to flip, what is it, 2 times? Just 1 time. Yeah. And also right here, I mean, this is like an insanely difficult shot to save. But I would think that the only place that this ball can go is behind me. And I guess you're trying to flip sideways, but I think if you kind of just like do a like if you jump up and just become perpendicular and kind of hover there for a moment, that could have kind of put you in a slightly better position to save this. But yeah, maybe driving right there, driving forward and to the right would have put you in front of that penny pad to your right now to stop this ball, or to have continued driving all the way back onto the goal line would have also been better. Like just keep hitting the left trigger here. Keep driving backwards. No need to boost forward. I think that ball 100 times out of 100 is going behind you and not in front of you, so to drive backwards here is the better call. But yeah, upsetting one for sure. I would not say that this game was completely lost by your own decisions. I think there were some things that you had done wrong, but I think mostly what it came down to was mostly, I think this game really came down to a lot of times you driving forward on defensive positions instead of driving backwards, or playing the ball as if it was going to go over you. So yeah, this is a tearjerker for sure, but I would not say that this is fully your fault or anything like that. But thanks for watching. If you would like me to review your Rocket League gameplay, feel free to shoot me a DM on Twitter or Discord or Twitch or wherever, and I will review your Rocket League gameplay. If you saw anything that I didn't call out that you think A-Dibs or Baby Dibs could use as some advice, leave it in the comments below. And if you disagree with something I said, leave it in the comments below. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.